Let's start the second season, and this time I'm picking a book, A Treasury of Ancient Tamil Legends by P. Raja. The Crow's Gift. Long ago, no one knows how long ago, the Vindhya mountains happened to hear of the glories of the fabulous mountain Meru, the abode of Lord Shiva and his consort. Through the alluring tales of Narada, the celestial bard and rishi, they puffed out in pride and grew to a majestic height to be treated on par with Meru, the sun who illuminates the earth by stretching out his golden arms and also blesses all creatures under him by infusing energy into them, rode as usual in his chariot drawn by radiant, white-footed steeds. As the galloping steeds called a halt all of a sudden to their breakneck speed at the sight of the strange height of the Vindhya range, by neighing at the top of their lungs, by raising their forelegs, the son who was all along thinking of his forsaken wife woke up to the situation. Like his deeds, he too found himself helpless. He was sure that he would not be able to cross the mountain that stood in his way. Hence he retreated, allowing the other side of the mountain to grope in darkness. People went over their fate as they understood how horrible a place the earth could be without the affectionate kisses of all-powerful sun. As their sufferings loomed large, they prayed to the celestials with utmost sincerity to save them from the engulfing disaster. The celestials in their turn took pity on the suffering mortals and sought the help of the short-statured sage Agastya, said to have been born in a water jug. Agastya, with the help of the powers he had obtained through rigorous tapasya, prayed to Lord Shiva to bless him with the boon to humble Vindhya's pride. Shiva obliged. As he bestowed on him the boon, the Lord said, "As soon as your mission is over, move to the south. Have your abode on the Podial hills and continue with your tapasya." With folded arms, the sage stood still, silently listening to the divine. "I'll teach you a language which I call Tamil. I'll assign you the work of teaching this language to the people in the south. They will remain faithful to you all through their life." "I will teach it, my lord," said Agastya, and scratched the back of his head as a preamble to his request. The three-eyed lord smiled and asked, "Anything else you need?" The sage pounded on the opportunity. His voice became a pleading whine. "In order to go ahead with the tapasya without any difficulty, I would like to have from you a well with unfailing water, and holy water it must be." Shiva nodded his head in approval and commanded one of the holy rivers in his domain to flow and disappear into the sage's water jug. As the holy river obeyed, Shiva told her, "You shall flow out only when the sage motions you with his hand to do so, and from the day you will become a perennial river, and thereby help the folks who savor with vigor." With a massive holy river in his hand and with the knowledge of a new language, sage Agastya began his journey to the south. As he neared the mountain that remained insoluble riddle even to the sun, Vindhya had heard of the sage's fortune, bowed to him with all humility. The sage being a dwarf, the mountain had to bend very low in order to receive his blessings. The sage, as usual, pounced at the opportunity. "Oh, you need my blessings? I will, but only on my way back, provided you remain in the same position," he said, and continued his journey. Vindhya agreed, unaware that the sage would never return. The sun resumed his diurnal journey, thereby dispersing the gloom which had overspread the earth. The people who came to know of Agastya's timely help praised him sky high in glowing phrases. Agastya stopped his journey and stayed in Kongunadu, Kurg, to do his tapasya. Let us not disturb him for a while. Indra, the chief of heaven and the celestials, who was at constant war with the giants and the demons, was for the time deposed by a demon king. Ashamed, Indra, in spite of the vigor in his body, strength in his arms, a thunderbolt in his hand, and a wisdom in his head, took to his heels with his wife Indrani. They sought refuge at Sirkazi in Tamil Nadu and lived disguised as bamboo plants. Not a day passed without the celestial couple grieving over their fate and meditating on Lord Shiva for an early redemption. In order to perform his daily puja, Indra created a garden full of plants and trees bearing sweet scented flowers. Unfortunately, the garden began to face the threat of extinction since no drop of rain fell from the heavens, which were under complete control of demons. Indra's grief multiplied as he was unable to offer flowers to the divine during his prayer time. Rishi Narada, who visualized the plight of the Indra, descended on Sirkazi to console the grief-stricken wielder of thunderbolts. Nothing to worry about, Narada said. Your sorrows will disappear without a trace if only you do what I say. Tell me a way out of my problem. Your words will be obeyed to the syllable. Now listen, a holy river from Mount Meru sleeps in the water jug of sage Agastya, who does his penance in the Saya hills of Kongunadu. Do what you will, but make that river flow on the land, like an army in rout. Your grief will vanish, the land too will bloom with life once again. A ray of disappointment ran across Indra's charming face. Did you come all this way to give me a suggestion so hard to carry out? He asked. Narada looked askance at Indra. You and I are not competent enough to think of any plan to make the holy river flow from its prison. But all you can do is to pray Pilayar, the remover of difficulties and obstacles, and seek his help. Indra faithfully followed Narada's suggestion. Pilayar, who magnanimously helped all those who sought his help, made his appearance before Indra. Indra prostrated before him and threw open his heart. Done, said Pilayar, and what a surprise! The elephant-headed and pot-bellied god was metamorphosed into a crow. He flapped his wings and flew towards Kongunadu. He did not close his wings till he perched on the rim of the water jug that stood majestically by the side of sage Agastya. Disturbed by the rustle of the wings, the sage, in an attempt to drive away the bird, motioned it with a wave of his hand. The crow was eagerly waiting for such an opportunity. Under the pretext of taking off, he toppled down the water jug. The holy river, released from its incarceration, descended in torrents to the land. Infuriated, the sage ran after the crow to punish him for his unruly act. He succeeded in catching the crow. When he raised his fist to rap the bird on the head, the latter showed himself as Pilayar. Cursing his ignorance, the sage prayed to the Lord to forgive him, and as a self-imposed punishment, he rapped on his temples with both his fists. Oh, is this the reason why the devotees rap on their temples while they pray to Pilayar, who sits under every peepal tree or at street corners? The holy river that flowed from the sage's water jug was called Kakaviri, which in Tamil means Kaka, crow, Viri, flow, flowing made possible by crow. Today it is known as Kaveri, a life-giving perennial river.